Hello, how are you? If you haven't checked out my products, be sure to check them out. And yes, I started with that because that is what really has been charging me up for the days to come for this very episode. And yes, let's get into it. Hello, my lovely, how are you? How have you been? Well, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And today's topic is exactly what you've seen on your feed. I think I hated men. And I know that's a really strong word to approach things, but hear me out. I went through a season in life where I felt the dire need for dating, for having this life partner. And it really got me to, doing my little research. How can I be able to get this man obsessed with me? How can I magnetize this hunk of a man? Little did I know that not every shoe fits my cute little toe. And you know I'm with that. But the idea is that through life, you get to try things out. And you don't necessarily have to go through trials and errors to know what works for you, but you get to be at a place where you learn and grow and you allow yourself to go through the pitfalls, like go through the mud, you know. And yeah, always pray for guidance, divine guidance above it all. Because not every single thing sent your way is meant to be for you, is meant for you. So you have to be of better discernment to know that is this working for me, is this for me, And once you get to such a place, you get to understand that it's okay. Like life got to happen, life gets to happen, and that's okay. But it's the understanding that am I open to learning and growing through life? Am I open to understanding that yes, I went through this season in life and now I know better? Am I willing and open to accepting these flaws of mine, or am I simply hiding them out and avoiding this idea of shame and guilt? That is one thing I also have the idea of wanting to live in this place of enlightenment, love, joy, peace. Like you can get to surpass the very things which are necessary to go through life. Because if you do not get to allow yourself to go through seasons where you actually feel that actually this isn't what I want to be feeling. This is actually not what I want to be doing with my life. This is when you've got into a place or rather you are becoming, and you are getting to a place where you are simply set on what you want and what you do not want. And you being in resistance of that which is put within you can cause you to be at a place of disease and uneasiness of that which is necessary for you to go through whatever it is that you need to go through to get on the other side. So for me, allowing myself to go through that season of shame slash guilt just allowed me to see that actually this is not what I want. I don't want to be manipulative to get a man. Like, am I willing to keep this up until the day I die? And what makes me so limited in God's blessing and abundance that I think this is the only thing for me? Think about it, lovely. Why would I want to mold myself into the idea of what is or what I think will be when you don't have the full spectrum of what God has for me? You are literally like, let me say, like 24 years in my current age. And you're so fixated at this. I want this right now. This is what I need. This is what I deserve to be able to fulfill and to be able to be fulfilled and complete in who I am. And it isn't really what you need, or rather, what you think you need. It might be what you want, but it isn't that season, that right season for you to have it because it is not in alignment. That is one thing I got to learn, that you have to be in alignment with what you want, right? If you're not in alignment of that which you want, then why does it feel so hard? Have you prayed about it? And prayer, as I've gotten to learn with age, isn't necessarily a matter of like going to church or kneeling down or reading the Bible. It's simply that intentional moment where you said with God, where you're like, God, I'm right here and I'm really at a dilemma in life and I don't know what to do right now. Teach me, my love. Help me to understand that I am not better, but I am made best in your ways. I am made whole in who you are, in what you are embodying within my spirit. Kindly talk to me, And I want you to understand that it has to be a genuine play. I don't really want you to understand anything, but I want you to feel the space that I got into when I went into my prayer. It has to be something which brings you peace, something which is in alignment. You're not overthinking it, you're not doing anything more than you simply being at a place of Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my head. And sorry for the background noises, but I want you to understand that prayer is something for you. It doesn't have to have any terminology behind it as spiritual. You guys need to leave me alone. Maybe not yet. But it doesn't need to be the idea of spirituality or religion. It simply needs to be a place of this is where I find rest with the man and the woman that I'm embodying through every season, or rather through this very season, Excuse me for that. And all these other things, all these other rituals, quote unquote, which is probably going to church, all these mundane routines which you have curated to be able to amplify your spiritual life, just get to be supplements towards that walk with God, that walk with Christ. They're not entirely what encompasses, rather, they are pieces of the puzzle which make you more intimate with that which God put within your soul. And I feel that my idea of thinking I hated men was thinking that I had to take men through these certain hoops. They had to jump through these certain hoops to be able to get to this girl. I mean, it's okay to know your worth. It's okay to understand this is what needs to be done for me to give it up to you, give it up to you. And it's okay to feel that way. But it's not okay to get to a place where you feel that God did not put the same spirit within you that He put in your better half. How would you want your better half to feel? What environment would you like to curate for him to be able to show up as his fullest self in your life? I don't want to bring the idea of masculinity and femininity into all of this. That's just the whole idea in itself. It's a whole concept in itself and it's totally allowed. But it's the idea that I have to be at a place where we are in flow, you know, we are in flow, the art of way, you know, and life is amazing. And once you take life as a journey, as a place of pure bliss, with its upsides and downsides, with its moments, you get to release control. And I feel these are concepts which you get to input into your life with time because you get to understand that what, I still have a long way to go. And am I taking the time to enjoy this present moment, or am I relying on the idea of tomorrow? Am I being present? Am I being still? Am I releasing the tension in my body and allowing myself a chance to be at ease? I remember in this episode that I made on my Spotify platform where I talked about the idea of being the woman of the house. And it came about the idea that I was confronting my own fears. And I feel that is what I have gotten to unravel through my journey. That we get to go through a path in life where we get to confront our own fears, where we get to understand that, you know what, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. And yeah, like I'm okay. It doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, you know. Like life happens as it does, but I'm still going on stronger and stronger every day, and I'm allowed to, and I'm allowing myself the chance to grow and to bloom. It doesn't mean that now I have to shame myself or guilt myself. That is being in acceptance of what is, simply for what you're feeling. You're not in resistance because I feel that because I feel that once you're in resistance with that which is outside of you, you get to put yourself in a place where you are not okay, you know. And it's the idea that this is what I term as a reality in my current situation. So how do I get to surpass this hurdle? Am I putting this weight outside of me, or am I embracing it as my own? And by embracing something as your own doesn't mean that you get to identify with it. You simply get to see it as what it is in your current reality. And you get to say that, you know what, I'm going to choose different. I know I'm feeling shitty at this particular moment. I know I want different. And it's okay to want different. It's totally allowed, you know. And it's the idea that can I be able to surpass this trying time in my life? Yes. Can I be able to surpass this trying time in my life? And that's the courage that you need. That's the confidence that you need. That, you know what, even though there's this so-called low vibrational frequencies, can I be able to actually just have an open mind? Like, okay, so let me be curious. Let me entertain this curious mindset that there's this idea of shame, guilt, hate, anger. Let me be curious about it. Let me not act upon it. Let me just observe it. Let me be present in it. Let me see it in it. Let me see it for what it is. Let me release it and nourish it with love, with peace, with enlightenment. And that beautiful mold, you get to nurture love, you get to nurture harmony, and there is no resistance anymore. You are releasing, you're releasing. And this is a very conscious thing that you get to embody through the season because it's being human. It's called being a human being. You're getting to embody different, different emotions, different peoples and better peoples, different people, and you get to interact in accordance with whatever God places within your path. Like you get to maneuver through it. There is no way around it than through it. That's how you get to know that you are charged up. That's how you get to know that you are confident, you're brave enough to go to that next blessing that God has for you. Simply put. And I know, looking back, that there is some things I do regret on which I engaged in when I was younger. But it's the idea that I have no power and control over what is in the past, nor what is in the future. But I can stay hopeful that whatever God has in store for me in the future is better than what was in my past, and it was preparing me for that beautiful success story of mine, you know. And with you knowing what you want, what you need through every season, it eliminates a lot of stress, it eliminates a lot of anxiety. And this is not to put pressure on you that you need to know what you want or what you need. These are things that you get to learn through life, through trial and error, as I said. And you get to be at a place where you know that I am who I am. And God looked at it and said, Bellissima. Yes. And it's okay. It's okay to look back and be like, oh my God, was that me? Like I did that, and actually did that. It's okay. It's a life. It's a life, and you get to allow yourself. You get to allow yourself to be amazed and to simply live from a place of curiosity that actually it's gonna be better, it's gonna be better. And yeah, you got a little breath work, release the tension in your muscles. If you're holding on to something right now, just allow yourself to release the tension in your muscles, release the idea of fear, of lack, of self destruction, of the lack of faith, doubt. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, hold, hold, breathe out. Life is, um, is incomprehensible. We can't understand the full spectrum of what God has for us. And I want you to keep tapping more and more into the idea of faith that this mountain shall be moved. This trying time shall pass. And I am okay, actually. I am okay. I am okay. Awesome. I really don't have much to say in this episode of ours, but really come from a place of assurance that life doesn't need to be a definite curve. It never was meant to be. It was meant to be a joy. It was meant to be pleasurable. It was meant to be lived. And you need to be more and more alive in all that you are, in all that you are doing. Learn to be intentional with every single season. And I know that there is the trying time which makes you feel that you need to be in luck, you need to be in a place of distraught, but you are okay. This very season is enough. It is enough, okay? It is enough. And you get to learn every single day what works for you, okay? I hope your weekend is going on reishi, and I hope you are at a place in life where you know that life is amazing, and so am I. Okay, bye bye. Remember to stick around, follow, like, and share to really mean the world to you. Yes, and for what God is going to remove from our lives, let's make peace with that. And for what God is there to sustain within our lives, let's make peace with that. Let's nurture that. Let's go within ourselves. And anything you feel is worth losing, anything you feel deeply is worth losing, is never worth keeping. And sometimes it's the right season, but the wrong time. Yes. Take it easy. Be free. Know who you are every single day. Know thyself. Know thyself. Let's stay grounded in that. Peace.